What's up, guys? Welcome back to today's lesson. In the last lesson, we spoke about the learning levels and how anytime, even before we want to learn something, we're in one of these states, okay? Unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence, and mastery. And that depending on where you are, you can have an understanding of where your next level is. Now, a while back, you heard me talk about throwing away my old DVD porn collection and how I tested and I ruined 2 months of semen retention. Okay, the reason I threw that in there was that I was foreshadowing something that was a really big deal. Like 2 months, right? 77 days actually. And that was from a guy who would jerk off multiple times per day at different phases of my life, and then going 77 days, right? That was a huge feat. And so there's so many benefits to semen retention, which is today's topic. And it's kind of hard to know where to begin exactly, but I think a good place to begin is that it actually makes you more attractive to females. All right? If that's not a good enough reason for you, I don't know what is. And I haven't actually done any proper scientific tests measuring my attractiveness, but I have seen a noticeable difference in my results when I was meeting women. Okay? From the times when I would jerk off multiple times per day, and then looking at the man that I was showing up as in my life, to a guy who hasn't spread his seed in a month or two, and the man who shows up as that. Okay? When I met that beer bottle opening girl in New York, I was semi-consistent in doing the root focus and practicing semen retention, and I just went out, and it was like she was magnetized to me. Everything flowed naturally. Now, I totally blew that up in the end, but that's not the point. Okay? The point is that even with my subpar flirting skills, I was able to bring home a hot girl like it was nothing. Okay? So I've actually proven this to myself, that I show up as a more masculine version of myself, which makes me more attractive. And that brings us to number 2. It increases self-confidence. All right? Every guy is going to have to feel this out for themselves. But if you've been jerking off every day since you were a kid, pretty regularly, you might not even know the other side. Right? So when you start to reach 60 or 90 days of semen retention, only then are you really going to be able to say for sure if it really does or not. Okay? And now, again, for me, the guy that I was showing up as in my life when I didn't masturbate was 100 times more self-confident than the guy who jerked it daily. Okay? I can't tell you how many times that I would jerk off before I went somewhere because I was nervous, right? Or something. And if I saw an attractive woman, I would literally walk the other way or avoid any kind of interaction with her because I didn't want things to go too well and lead to the bedroom. I know it's crazy, but that's the story that I told myself. Now, number 3, science says it relieves depression. And I think it's true, but only as a default to why you're depressed in the first place, right? Depression comes when the things that used to excite you are no longer interesting to you. And everything just kind of fades into the dull space, and you're not happy and nothing stimulates you. Did you catch that last part? Nothing stimulates you. So you've been overstimulated by whatever, porn, too much masturbation, singles chats when you're married, okay? And by not following through on your stimulants, you're not overstimulating, and your body is able to rewire. You start to feel more sensations throughout your whole body and your life. Okay, and as you start to rewire, the depression fades away. I can also tell you from personal experience that when I was at my most depressed states in my life, I was also jerking off the most, and I was searching for more stimulus. I had an itch that I couldn't scratch, and the only thing that gave me any form of excitement was porn, even albeit a 30-second rush and a 48-hour hangover afterwards. And vice versa, when I'm performing at my best, at my work, in my life, in general, I don't have time to jerk off because I have so many other fun things to do in my life. Okay? Number 4, it boosts your immune system. All right? I've always claimed that I never got sick very often, but looking back to the days when I was jerking off the most, I would find myself with a constant cough or a tickle in my throat. Okay? I'd be lazier and I wouldn't want to do my workouts. There was a common theme to me being in worse physical health when I masturbated versus when I practiced semen retention. And now that I'm in a serious, committed relationship, You guys, she knows everything about my past, and I've explained the benefits of semen retention to her, and she's cool with it, right? She's cool with us going weeks without my orgasm. And because it's only once every few weeks, and I continue to do the root focus, and we continue to do the partner activities, it doesn't seem to have as much drain as if I was doing it more often. Okay, now we're going to get into the partner activities in some future modules, but I just want to let you know that you don't have to go all monk style and never ejaculate again. But for right now on your journey, I'd highly recommend you quit jerking off completely. Not forever, but for now. Okay, 100%. Let those chemicals start to build up and keep doing the solo activities and routines. All right, turn them into rituals, things that you build your life around, and watch what happens when you pair those things with NoFap. Okay? And just so you can look into things deeper if you want, I've put a list of other benefits in the files below. And there's a link to the webpage and everything if you want to dive into more details about this stuff. But that's it for now, man. I hope this stuff resonates with you enough for you to create your rituals. Okay? This is your life. And we're not living on accident. We're creating what we want. But our programming wants to keep us safe and sound in our comfort zones. Okay? But nothing good ever happens in our comfort zones. And so in order to create your best life, you will have to face rejection. And as you'll learn more in the future modules, I'll be giving you some activities you can do instead of ejaculating or right after you ejaculate to keep your energy at peak levels. Okay, man? So until I get you those, I'll talk to you soon. Much love.